Hello everyone, it's Friday night, Cherries Red Army YouTube channel, and we're here for another match preview, and your football weekend starts right now. If you've not subscribed to this channel yet, please do. We've had an extra 10 subscribers overnight, so thank you very much. And make sure you hit that like button as well. Got two special guests with us this evening. I'm going to change it up a little bit this week, and we're going to bring them in together at the same time. So, Bournemouth fans, I'm going for some luck. I've gone to America to see if we can change this and get a result tomorrow. Please welcome Patrick. How you doing, Patrick?
Hi, Kurt.
And we've also got a Watford fan joining us. Please welcome Andy Lewers. How you doing, Andy?
Hi, mate. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
No worries. And quickly, Patrick, before we get into the football, we have a new Cherries fan. You had a baby boy a few weeks ago. How's he doing?
He's good. My son James, the newest Cherries fan, was born on the 9th of February. He's already seen 3 matches. He slept through each game so far. So maybe tomorrow when he wakes up, he'll be ready to go. Since kickoff will be 6:30 Chicago time tomorrow. So that's about right when he wakes up. So he should be fresh and ready to go.
And Andy, thanks for joining us. Just tell us a bit about what you do for Watford and sort of podcasts and stuff that you do.
Yeah, so I run a fan channel called the Hornet's Nest. Started out as a blog, as sort of a project in my final year of uni because I decided that was a good way to spend my student loan following Watford around the country. Just do various bits and bobs. Do a podcast on the side called Stairway to Seventh, which is about the Premier League side outside the Big Six. Which obviously, sadly, neither of us are a part of this season. And I do various odds and sods. Get asked to do a lot of media interviews when we inevitably sack one of our head coaches. I always get the text sort of the hours after the news is broken saying, Andy, can you come and do an interview on such and such? So, yeah, that's what I'm usually doing nowadays in the Championship now that the Premier League, now we're out of the Premier League.
And let's get stuck into the Championship football then. And let's just recap our last fixture, Patrick. We played on Wednesday night against Cardiff. We were slow out the traps again. We were gifting goals and not taking our chances. How did you see it?
We can't get out of our own way at this point. So, it's been the same all season. I mean, the week before, the match before, it was Mepham, Williams' KPR goal. I mean, we were really, really rock solid at the season, but now we make one with our last goals of attacking prowess from song and dance, unfortunately.
Having a bit of a connection issue, so I'll just drop you out a minute, Patrick, and hopefully we'll bring you back in and it'll sort itself out a bit. I mean, Andy, you played on Wednesday as well, I think. A wet night. Was it at Blackburn? Got the result, though. Some goals from Sarr, and I think Tom Cleverley had a hand in the first one as well. So, yeah, how was that for you, a 3-2 win?
Yeah, it was massive. It's, we've both been there, obviously in the same season, promotion chasing. You go away to these clubs where it's going to be difficult away from home. The classic win your home, draw your aways. But when you're in positions like Watford, Bournemouth, Norwich, you go into these away games thinking actually we need to win this game. So it was a huge test for us in awful conditions with a pretty rancid pitch as well. It was one of those games whereby. We were joint level with Brentford in seconds going into the game, and you kind of just said to yourself, like, this is the game where you want the players to prove if they want it or not, if they really want to sort of take advantage, and if they really want that promotion. And thankfully, it was a bit of a nervy end, but we came through it. Some good goals in there as well. João Pedro's got on the score sheet again. He's a little Brazilian wonder kid. And the team's really starting to gel. So it was horrible weather-wise, but performance-wise, really starting to click for the Horns now.
And the first fixture between the teams did end in a 1-1. We were probably fortunate to get a draw at the end, but let's just have a look back at that. What can you remember of that game, Andy, where you took the lead from a good finish, a good move, actually? But yeah, what can you remember that 1-1?
Well, not for the first time. The referee has made a few dodgy decisions in Bournemouth's favour against Watford. I seem to remember. I can't remember who it was, but there was someone who should have been sent off. And then it's sod's law, isn't it? That player has a hand in the goal, right to the death. But it was quite a good contest, and this was the days when we had our first head coach of the season, Vladimir Ivic, and he was a very defensive-minded coach, and I think that showed in this game. I don't know if hopefully you'll see maybe a different side to us on Saturday, but with the case with Ivic was we'd go 1-0 up, and then we'd perhaps not necessarily park the bus, but we'd be very cautious, very defensive, and frustrating not to have seen the game out, and you guys capitalised on that in the end. And I remember flicking through my Twitter at the end, and there were a lot of very angry and very frustrated Watford fans that A, the players should have been sent off, and B, weren't able to kill the game off. But a good contest between two decent sides in good form at the time.
We would put in a late surge at the end there, Patrick, and we would get an equaliser for a player that struggled this year, and it would come from a corner. But Chris Mepham will get the equaliser.
That's pretty much all I remember. I try to black out a lot of the bad moments, and we've seemed to struggle with the Hornets a lot recently. But just the euphoria after that for Mepham was just something to see, and just a nice bright spot from an otherwise kind of down season, and we've really been trending downward. So the small highlights have been a bonus.
Let's look at Watford in more detail then, see where we may struggle tomorrow or where they may hurt us. So third in the league, 60 points on goal difference, Andy. Won the last 4, lost 1 in 10. That's pretty good form.
It's not bad, is it? You need to time your momentum well in the Championship, because you've seen... I don't want to bring it up, but obviously Cardiff have won 5 on the bounce, obviously most recently against you guys, and they're now in the playoffs. So you go on a good little run of form, you can go from mid-table obscurity to challenging for promotion in this league, can't you? So coming in at just the right time, it's coincided with a change of shape. So I'd imagine there'll be very, very few changes, if any, to Watford's starting 11 tomorrow. But it seems to be gelling well, and the team seems to have a bit more team spirit about them as well. We didn't really see that under Devitt, because the players, seems to be a lot of player power at Watford. And I don't think the players liked how much of a disciplinarian Ivic was, but Munoz seems to understand what it's like to be these players, and he puts himself in their shoes. And they seem to be responding to that and the change of shape well. So it's all paying off, and long may it continue.
In that 10-game form guide that you've got at the moment, you've only conceded 1 goal in the first half, and you've scored 50% of your goals in the first half and 50% in the second half. So from a Bournemouth point of view, we don't score a lot of early goals at the moment, but looks like you can hurt us at any time.
I'd like to think so. The problem with Watford is, we have struggled to kill games off. Despite scoring 3 against Blackburn, Blackburn still scored 2. We managed to kill off Bristol City, but the wins that we've had recently have felt a bit nervy, and we seem to look very susceptible after we've scored. Like, we don't usually do quick goals. So it's been nice recently to have a couple of wins, but they've all been quite nervy. So yes, I think we've got the talent to score against any team in this league. So long as we keep Sema, Pedro, and Sarr fit and up front playing together, they're quite a lethal 3. I think. I think yourselves, us, and Norwich coming down from the Premier League managed to keep actually a pretty good squad before you guys sold Josh King. So I think forward-wise, we've got one of the best attacking options in the league. It's just sometimes we can take our eyes off the ball a bit. But at the start of the season, obviously, I mentioned we had Ivic, who was a very defensive coach, and some of that seems to have stuck. We have been able to see games out, albeit in a nervy fashion. Despite holding a 1-goal lead, we've still got that experience of the likes of Andre Gray, Troy Deeney, to just hold the ball up and just irritate the opposition, get it in the corner. You guys have seen it with years in the Premier League as well. You don't see it too much in the Championship, I think, or when you do see it, it's a completely different sort of level between Premier League seeing a game out and Championship seeing a game out. And I think we've still got that. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me on the bum this weekend. But there's signs that that yes, we can score, but still susceptible straight after we score, I think.
And Patrick, I'm trying to see something in Watford that's going to give us some hope. And the only thing I could find today was in their 6 losses, they've lost to Reading, QPR and Cardiff, which is similar to us. So does that put us on a level playing field? Have you got anything else that could give us hope tomorrow?
The one stat I have that gives us a little hope is that they've scored the least amount of goals, or the third least amount of goals on the road in the Championship this season. So hopefully it's something for us, because I mean we've been pretty solid. I mean we're not shipping 3, 4, 5 goals like we did back in our Premier League days. We have a solid back, I would say 3 with Cameron Carter-Vickers, Steve Cook, Lloyd Kelly. Now, are we going to play a back 3? Are we going to play back 4? Are we going to play back 5? I think that's a big question for us. I think if we can shut down Sema, who I think is the leader and Chant has created in the Championship this season, we have a good shot, and we have some good defensive midfielders that can go out there and do a job for us. So there's some hope at the end of the tunnel for tomorrow morning.
There's clear talent in that team, Andy, that you've got, the likes of Sarr, the likes of Joe Pedro. I think Cleverley goes about his business very much under the radar, but very good professional. Dan Gosling, you took him from us in January. A lot of fans were upset to see him go. He does wear his heart on his sleeve. How's he doing? And do you reckon he'll start tomorrow?
Yeah, he's doing all right. I think a lot of Watford fans raised their eyebrows when we signed him. No disrespect to him, but he was basically the replacement for Etienne Capoue, who has been one of the best players we've ever had at the club. So he had pretty big shoes to fill. You've got to be a very special player to fill Etienne's boots. But he's made a couple of substitute appearances, made his first start on Wednesday evening, and he actually partnered Cleverley really well. Cleverley, like you mentioned, is the kind of player who will go under the radar, but the work rate he puts in, the effort that he puts on the pitch is phenomenal. And I feel the same with Gosling as well. He's happy to sit back and just do the dirty work, and he partnered Tom really well. So. I'm not sure if he'll start tomorrow. I think he will. I think it comes back to if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Daniel Chalabar is still going to be out, I believe, for this one. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see a totally unchanged 11, possibly maybe just one change just to rest someone just because of the fixture congestion. But he's doing all right. He's going about his business quietly. The good thing is, no Watford fan is picking on him on Twitter, which can only be a good sign. So he's doing all right.
And before I let you go, Andy, really appreciate you coming on. 16 managers in the last 10 years, I think Watford's had. We've had a bit of a circus going on at our club after a stability under Eddie Howe. What's sort of your view as an outsider of what's gone on in the last 3 weeks at Bournemouth?
I was a little surprised for you to keep Woodgate after seeing rumours about Henry potentially coming in, and just flick through Twitter, you see Bournemouth are interviewing so and so for the role. So I was surprised to see Woodgate stay on. I think it's kind of similar to us in a way. Cisco Munoz came in with no. Very, very little experience. He managed 11 games in the Georgian Premier League, which is, when was the last time you watched the Georgian Premier League? I think not recently for me. So it can work, and I think Woodgate should have the players on board. He's got a good playing record, of course. I was maybe not surprised to see Tyndall go. Watford have been in that position where we've been in the playoffs and been, from the outside, people looking at us thinking, why have they got rid of him? So as someone who's been through it 4 times last season, in fact, I understand it when opposition fans are just like, why have they done that? But no, I completely get it. It's reached the point now where if my phone goes off, just saying, "Oh, Munoz has been sacked," I'm like, "Okay, well, it happens." And you just move on. Like, well, we'll get another head coach. Yeah, someone's just commented every week. Yeah, it has felt like that at times. So if that does happen, if you do go on a bit of a merry-go-round, you do get used to it. But I have been a little surprised to see Woodgate stay on. But I hope it works out for you guys.
Score prediction, Andy?
My head says go with the form, which means a Watford win. But my heart says a score draw because these are two good sides. But I'm going to go with a nervy 2-1 Watford win.
Andy, it's been brilliant to have you on. Andy's details are in the description if you want to check out any of his stuff. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Hopefully you don't get the win, obviously. But I will speak to you soon.
You too, guys. Thanks very much.
Cheers, Andy.
Cheers.
Right then, Patrick, let's take a look at more of Bournemouth then. And Jonathan Woodgate gave a press conference today, and he said that he's going to have stability from here on in. He's going to go with a structure and a formation for the next 14 games. I mean, that's what the players need, surely. They need to know where they stand and what we're trying to do on that pitch week in, week out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody has been all over the change in formation going back, to obviously the days under Jason Tyndall. Everybody seems to agree that we should not play 5 at the back. And we really shouldn't, because we're far too talented on paper to play 5 at the back. We don't need to defend with 5 defenders in this division. I mean, I'm not trying to be cocky or, saying that we're better than anybody else, because clearly with results on the pitch right now, we're not better than anybody on the form table. But no, I would go either 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. And with how we've been under JT and Woodgate so far, I would definitely see us doing a 4-2-3-1, just because we don't seem to want to play 2 strikers up front. We seem to just kind of leave our lone striker isolated. And that's really hurt us with the lack of service from our wingers, our midfielders. But yeah, definitely need some stability in the formation. Back 4, please.
Also, was asked about player availability. It looks like Solanke, the game will come too soon for him. It looks like he'll miss out tomorrow, but he's not far away. Jack Stacey as well. So we're getting back to quite a strong, fit squad for Jonathan Woodgate to pick.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely need the overlapping runs from Stacey at the back. He just seems to be a little bit more of what we need on our attacking front. A little more athletic, gets further up the pitch. I think if we realistically could get Adam Smith on the left and Stacey on the right when he's fit, I think we can get back to our, free-flowing goal-scoring days at the beginning of the championship season.
And finally, in that press conference, he was asked about Jay Jordan, who's also come in. We've got Gary O'Neill as well. That's going to be it now for the end of the season, but quite a few staff behind the scenes now as well. What do you expect to see from that?
I don't know a lot about Joe Jordan, other than that he's supposedly going to come in there and shake things up and really give it to the players. So hopefully we see some sort of response. We, have gotten the same kind of song and dance from all the players after all these losses that, we'll fight on, we'll get them next time. But, words only mean so. We need results. And I mean, I'm not really a negative fan, I would say. I might say something on Twitter, and then about someone's poor performance, but you need a result. I mean, there's no reason that we should be where we are. And again, I'm trying not to be elitist, but 7th in the championship right now, it's not really acceptable for where we were, 18 months ago, 12 months ago. Hopefully we see some sort of difference with O'Neill and Jordan now behind Woodgate. I mean, because who knows, Harry Redknapp could be right behind them.
Absolutely. So before we go into our final segment of the show, hit that like button. I think we've not got many likes out there this evening, so come on, hit the thumbs up. Again, thank you for the extra subscriptions. Let's keep going. Let's go for that next. Let's go for 300. Yeah, we passed the 250, so let's do that. If you're not following Cherries Red Army at Twitter yet, do this, because this is where you'll find out what's coming up and what's been released on our channel. Also, if you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, because that'll also notify you as well. Right, Patrick, we're going to have to try and attempt to put ourselves in Woodgate's shoes, and let's see who he might pick tomorrow. Let's do this. Now, I think we agreed off air, Patrick, that it's got to be a back four tomorrow. It has to happen. He's got to go back to what served him well. Performances weren't great, but he got results, and that was a 4-2-3-1. So let's put that out there. We've already set some of the positions up already. So we'll go with Asmir Begovic in goal. Adam Smith will start with Jack Stacey out. Now, I've gone for Steve Cook and Carter Vickers in the centre. And before you give me your thoughts, Patrick, and let us know in the chat what you think, I would really like to see this player start. I mean, what's your thinking on Jordan Zamora?
I haven't seen a whole lot of him. He's had a couple of cameo appearances so far this year. I think maybe in a cup game or two, and then maybe once or twice in the league. I can't really remember for sure off the top of my head. The only reason I would go with Lloyd Kelly just over Zamora is just because of the experience. I think tomorrow is tricky with a young player, especially with the attacking talent that Watford is going to throw at us. So that would be the only reason I would give Kelly the nod over Zamora. I think Rico is definitely out of contention after giving up the penalty on Wednesday night. But if it was a lower side in the championship, I would give Zamora the nod. But I think the experience plays out with Lloyd Kelly. Even though on form, he's not deserving of that spot tonight or tomorrow.
Let's move forward then to the two holding midfielders, and this will probably be a 2 from 3 in Pearson, Lerma and Lewis Cook. Who do you expect to play in those two roles?
I thought Lerma and Lewis Cook. I think Lewis Cook has been arguably one of our best three players all season. Lerma's form has been spotty, but under Woodgate, he's really picked up again, getting back to that crunching tackle machine that we've come to know since he's been with us. I'm not sure about Pearson. I mean, he's been good in what we've seen from him in the limited game time that he's had, but I don't know if he's a guy that Woodgate trusts yet. And I was actually confused as to why we possibly getting rid of Jason Tyndall, but I would go with Cook and Lerma tomorrow.
There is an argument to say that Pearson, like you said, he might get a chance, and it could happen. It's a bit confusing that he's had a few good games and then he's sat on the bench since then. But I think we wouldn't be surprised if Pearson does come in for one. We wouldn't be surprised if Lewis Cook and Lerma start. So ahead of them, we got 3 then. I mean, who do you think Woodgate will pick for those 3 positions before the striker?
Well, Stanislas for sure. He's been terrific when fit. Outside of his little dust up with Sam Surridge this year, he's been one of our better performers. Definitely Phil Billing. I think he deserves it. He's played really well under Woodgate as well. That advanced role has really suited him. And then Jack Wilshere. We need the creativity. He's, again, another guy when fit. He's just so much better than the players at this level. I mean, realistically, he should probably be in the Premier League, but Jack is terrific.
It does mean that Danjuma misses out, a player that can win a game at any time with that bit of magic, but it's hard to disagree with that front 3, and it would give us an offensive side if we start well and could create some chances. That leaves a striking position for either Sam Surridge or Shane Long. I mean, what are you thinking?
So I think Sam got bullied a little bit against the big lads from Cardiff on Wednesday. And I think it's hard to pull Shane Long out of there. He has 2-2 now after not scoring for something like 12 months. He may not have the work rate that someone like Sam and Dominic Solanke have, but he seems to find himself in the right position right now. So I don't know how you take him out of there.
Let us know what you think about that team. I don't think it's going to be far away, and I do think we'll see a back four. And like some are saying in the chat, that Danjuma is quality, but the magic's not been there lately. And Sam Surridge did struggle, probably was a little bit isolated at times, but Shane Long has got a couple of goals. So let us know what you think about that team and who you would change or who you would put instead. This is your opportunity then to let us know what you think the score will be. Now, before we do that, what do you think the score will be tomorrow, Patrick? I mean, what are you expecting from the start of the game? Let us know your scores in the chat.
I'm going to say 1-1. I can see us making another defensive error, giving up a goal early on in the game. And then I think we claw back, and then I'm going to say we score somewhere between the 65th and 80th minute tomorrow. Another Shane Long header, because that's all we seem to score lately.
They seem to be right on the goal line as well. They don't seem to be far out. So get your score predictions in. I am going for a 1-1, just like I predicted against Cardiff. I'm hoping that we're still in the game at half time. I'm hoping we start the game better and we can create some chances, but I would definitely take a draw. So let's get some scores coming in. We have got, how you doing tonight, Chris? Thanks for joining us. We got a 4-2. We've got a 2-1 from Mark. How you doing, Mark? Thanks for joining us. Ed, 2-1. Heather's gone for the famous 3-1. Cameron, 2-1. What we got here? We've also got Daniel. How you doing, Daniel? Also in America. Keep the faith. We're going to get something tomorrow, Daniel. 3-1. Steve Hensman, 3-1. You're taking the Michael now. I mean, 3-1. I tell you what, I'm going to tell you this now, right? I'm going to put a £5 bet on this tomorrow. I'll do it tonight, actually. I'll put a £5 bet on 3-1. If it comes in tomorrow, I'll split the winnings halfway. All right? Because you're taking the Michael now, because I can't see us scoring 3 goals against Watford, but there are quite a few 3-1s in there. Right, that's the deal. I'll get it on tonight. I'll post it on Twitter. Stu, how you doing? 3-2. We've got a 2-1 in there. Got a 3-1 to Watford. Come on, keep the faith. And 2-1 as well. Right, I'm going to try something just before we finish the show, Patrick. Just have a look at this, right? Let's just bring this up. Tomorrow's fixtures, or next game week fixtures, is that one right there. So I've had a little bit of a play around with this, and you can probably see it on the screen now. I've just had a little bit of a prediction on what the scores might be roughly, and I've put my 1-1 Watford in there. More looking at the Barnsley game, I've put 1-0 to Barnsley, and also Cardiff, I've also put a 1-1 with Borough. Would you agree with those results, or what do you think those scores might be? Because I want to see how the table looks after this game week.
I think there's a good possibility we could be in 9th after tomorrow, which is disheartening, but it's good. I don't know if Borough can beat them tomorrow. I was really, really impressed with that side on Wednesday. They worked their butts off. They were just so much tactically. They put in so much more effort. You could see why they did beat us. Barnsley, Millwall didn't really show much in the game against them, but Barnsley they're on fire on the form table. They're good. I mean, from almost being relegated last year to being in 7th place or 8th place. I mean, I could definitely see them beating Millwall pretty easily tomorrow, but I think Cardiff might beat Borough on the road. But yeah, I could see us being in 8th after tomorrow.
Okay, in the chat right now, one team only, Barnsley or Millwall. Throw it in the chat right now. So let us know what you think, Barnsley or Millwall. A win, or if you think it'll be a draw, obviously put a draw. So, but in the chat now, Barnsley or Millwall, throw them out there. And then what we'll do, once you've done that, also put your predictions in there for the Cardiff one as well. Cardiff or Borough, or a draw. Okay, so we'll throw them in there because I think it will be really, really interesting because you can just set these, almost predict what might happen over the weekend. And like you said, at the start of the week, we were sitting in 6th, and 2 weeks ago, we were 6 points ahead. But after this weekend, we could be even further away from where we want to be. So we've got some Barnsleys coming through. Barnsley. So I think it's comfortable that I think everyone agrees that there is more likely to be a Barnsley win there. Cardiff, got some Cardiffs, and we've got some draws. Got a draw as well. So let's have a look at this then. We'll keep it as it is. We've got a Barnsley win and a Cardiff draw. So come the end of play, we could be sitting in 8th position, and Barnsley would leapfrog both us and Cardiff into the playoffs. That's the Championship, Patrick.
Yeah, we're definitely not looking back up here. Unfortunately, it seems like we're going to spend another season or more in the Championship. And you know what? It may not be the worst. It's much more exciting, I think, in the Championship. You never know what's going to happen week in and week out. Whereas last year there were games where we knew going in, oh, well, we're just going to get torn apart. It's going to be 5-0 or 0. Here, it's anybody can beat anybody on any given day, and that's much more exciting. I mean, if we can get back to the free-flowing thing that we had at the beginning of the season, where we're scoring 2-3 goals a game, there's a shot that we could go up. But if we're only scoring a goal, not scoring any goals, not creating any chances, well, we're going to be in this division again next year for sure.
Patrick, it's been brilliant to have you on. I'm glad the baby's doing okay. Is Mum doing okay as well? Did I ask about Mum? Is she doing okay?
Doing better. She's on the mend.
Hope you enjoy the game tomorrow then. Let's hope we can not lose the game and get a result. And it'll be good to chat to you soon. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. Up the Cherries.
Cheers. Okay, so thanks for joining us tonight. I know the connection was a bit hit or miss, but it was okay at times. So really appreciate your patience. And we had both of the guests on to give us that debate that we needed. So what we got coming over the weekend. So tomorrow, the game is an earlier kickoff. Remember, it's a 12:30 kickoff. So we got lineups live at 11:45. Now, I've also got a little bit of a different format coming at the end of the game. Now, if you join me at 80th minute, in the last 10 minutes, I'm going to go live. It's going to be like a last 10 minutes watch along. Join me. Let's see how it goes. We'll get a really raw opinion from me and from you guys who want to join me. Let's see how the game finishes. Hopefully we're still in the game. And then what we'll do is we'll close the match off with maybe a man the match poll and see how it goes. So let's call it the final knock-ins. Last 10 minutes, I'm going to go live. Join me if you can, and we'll have a short watch along. Thanks for everyone for joining us in the chat. Make sure you keep subscribing and liking as well. Got to stay positive, and we've got to hope that we can get something from the game. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Up the Cherries.